If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.
Hey there, folks. Welcome to Carmentary, another English episode for you. My name is Neil, driving in my car. It's kind of late at night here, but I got about 15 minutes before I get home, so I thought I would hit you with this subject. Let's talk about tourism in Japan, the winter snow scene, and what is coming up for the city of Sapporo. So a little insider information for you. Not that this is going to make you any money on the stock market or anything like that. But I'm privy to information and the happenings here in the tourism industry a little bit, so I thought I would share what I heard recently. The city of Sapporo is really making a big push to become the ski town Sapporo, or Sapporo ski town, Sapporo snow town. I don't know what the exact wording is, but they're making a big promotional push and putting a lot of money and effort into convincing foreign tourists, inbound tourists, who are coming to Hokkaido, Northern Island in Japan, to ski or snowboard or play in the snow or do whatever you want to do, but as long as you do it in the winter and you stay in Sapporo. That is the key goal for the city of Sapporo. The city of Sapporo, and I'm talking about the government offices, you know, the tourism offices. The main office that's behind this is the MICE office, M-I-C-E. I never knew what MICE stood for, so I actually looked it up before recording this. It stands for Meetings, Incentives, Conferences, and Exhibitions. MICE. So they're trying to incentivize people to come and stay in Sapporo and go skiing. They're trying to get organizations and groups to come and hold meetings, conferences, and exhibitions. So that could be anything from, you know, like a group of doctors getting together to, you know, whatever, some kind of big business that wants to show off its products and host an exhibition. Plus, they're dabbling now really at more just average tourists and trying to get, you know, groups of tourists. So I guess maybe tour groups fall into that category as well. So the big upcoming event, I believe it is May the 20th, somewhere in Australia. Maybe it's Sydney. I don't know exactly. There's a yearly event called the Snow Expo. I believe that's the name. And it's for travel agents, tour companies. I don't know if your average citizen can go or not, but it's a big event for people who are interested in ski and snowboard winter tourism. I'm guessing that countries from all over the world, the Northern Hemisphere obviously, go to Australia for this event. They bring down their pamphlets and their posters and they show off all their stuff. And here in Hokkaido, the biggest winter resort is Rusutsu Resort. They go down there every year. They take a couple staff people. They have a booth. They set up. They show some videos, some pamphlets and posters. Talk to people and say, you got to come to Rusutsu. It's the best place when if you're coming to Hokkaido, you got to come to Rusutsu. This year, for the first time ever, the city of Sapporo is sending down a group to promote the city of Sapporo as a ski town. So what does that mean? Sapporo City is a large city, 2 million population roughly, maybe slightly under 2 million now. There are 6 ski resorts within the city limits. You got Teine, you got Kokusai, you got Futsu, you got Moiwa, you got Bankei, and there's one more, which I always forget. Oh man, I can't even think of it. Anyway, there are 6 resorts, the largest 2 being Sapporo Kokusai and Teine, of course. So they're gonna go down there and they're gonna have a booth and everyone's gonna be hanging out there and they're gonna be trying to convince people that, hey, you gotta come and stay in Sapporo and then you can ski all these Sapporo resorts. They're great. They're kind of under the radar still. When people talk about Hokkaido, obviously Niseko is the big name. It's the It's the boss, you know, it's the boss man of the island, Niseko. And then, of course, you have Rusutsu, which is the largest single resort. Niseko is bigger as a whole, but it's several individual resorts that have kind of grouped together and have a pass that you can use at all of them, the Niseko United Pass. Then, of course, there's Furano in central Hokkaido, and that's a whole nother story. But it's an important part of this story because Asahikawa, the central city in Hokkaido, is really the town where this whole let's turn our town into a ski town really started. I don't know where they got the hint from or who really got it going, but Asahikawa has really worked hard to bill itself as, you know, the place to stay that gives you access to all kinds of different resorts, generally within an hour's drive, which is easy. There's even more. If you extend that a little more to like 2 hours, you can get down to Tomamu and other areas. In fact, they even have a name for it called the Powder Belt. The Powder Belt. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's what they're billing themselves as. All those central Hokkaido resorts saying, we got the powder. It ain't just Niseko anymore. There's a new man in town. So Sapporo kind of said, hey, we got to do what Asahikawa is doing. You know, they're centrally located. There's resorts all around them. We can do the same thing. We're Sapporo City. We got everything. We got the nightlife. We got the food. We got all these hotels. We got tons of stuff to do if you don't want to ski or snowboard, shopping, etc. Plus, we got the airport. Chitose, admittedly, neighboring city, but it's called the Sapporo Airport. And that's their goal, to say, hey, you guys got to come and stay here. Now, I think it's a great idea. I think it's good to promote the city, and I do think it will have an impact on the seasons ahead, even, you know, some kind of an impact next season, and then definitely in the years ahead. I do think the competition is stiff. Talked to a lot of tourists this year, and many of the tourists were staying in Otaru, the port city next to Sapporo. Otaru is a great little town. You've got good food. There's not much nightlife. Maybe some bars and stuff though. Great sushi, seafood, obviously the port town. Plus it gives you really practical access to Sapporo Kokusai, Kiroro, even Teine. And then of course you have easy access to Niseko. Whereas if you're staying in Sapporo, you're a little bit further away from Rusutsu and Niseko. You'll definitely want to ski the closer resorts. But for people who really want to go many different places, Otaru is actually a good choice. So Sapporo does have a little competition, but it is a big city, 2 million people, and I think the real advantage they have is the level of accommodation. You can have really, you know, high-end, really nice, expensive hotels, plus there are a lot of, you know, mid-range kind of hotels, and of course even some really cheap hotels. I know a bunch of guys, I don't know if they're still coming these last few years, but I've met a couple Canadians who would come over and they would stay in like the really cheap business hotel in downtown Sapporo, and they would rent like really cheap cars, like a little micro car. So really great cost performance, right? And then they would check their weather reports and they would drive to all these resorts all over Hokkaido, ski tons of powder with no people, and they would purposely hashtag all their photos that they posted on social media Niseko. Absolutely brilliant idea. So just because a photo has a Niseko hashtag under it doesn't mean it was actually shot in Niseko. Just keep that in mind. All right, that's what I got for you today. I'm about home. I'm gonna have a nice little dinner. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe give you a little insight into what's going on here in Hokkaido in the snow tourism industry. If you have any questions, ideas, or anything you would like to know, please leave me a comment and I will try to follow up on it in a future episode. By the way, you can listen to these Carmentary podcasts on YouTube Music now. Did you know that? New thing with YouTube, if you make a playlist and hashtag your content as a podcast, it automatically gets transferred over to YouTube Music. So if you're not really into the video, or if you're on YouTube Music to just listen to some tunes and you want to hear me rambling on in my car, check it out. Drive safe, everybody.
If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.